Hey, what is going on, guys? DC Dubs here, and today I'm here with another top 5 video. And today we're going to be going over the top 5 worst killers in Dead by Daylight. So originally I was going to do the top 5 best killers, but because of the fact that they are kind of already established on who the top tier killers are, and it's a lot more fun to poke at the bad than praise the good, we're going to be going over the top 5 worst killers today. So let's get right into the video. Back before Hag and Trapper got their buffs, I would have definitely had Hag a lot higher on this list. But since they lowered her trap placement time and buffed a lot of her add-ons, removing the negative effects, she has become a lot more viable of a killer. Unfortunately, good survivors can still take advantage of the flaws of her power and completely destroy her. First off, they know that they can crouch through her trap, and on top of that, they know that they can flashlight her trap to completely destroy them, completely rendering her power useless. And since she's slower than most other killers, she's still very susceptible to pallet looping. While the trap placement time has been decreased and makes it a lot harder to pallet loop her, it's still completely possible, and it lands her at the number 5 spot. The problem with Pig is her power comes down to random chance rather than skill. While you will be in some games where it's taking the survivors 3 or 4 tries to get their trap off their head, more often than not, you're going to be in games where it's only taking 1 or 2 tries. This really screws your power over considering the fact that you only have a limited amount of bear traps. Now granted, the best way to play Pig is endgame. Use your traps to keep the survivors in the game, since if they try to escape through the door, the traps trigger and kill them. Now the problem with that is, if survivors are smart and work together, they can get it so only one survivor has a trap on their head at a time, and the other 3 just escape through the door, and then the last one takes the hatch, since the traps don't trigger when you go out through the hatch. Basically, the biggest problem with her is the fact that there's a lot of clunky workarounds that are a lot luck dependent and not rather skill dependent, and I think it's a poor design thing and a poor replica of what the Pig should be from the Jigsaw games. Leatherface lands himself at this spot for being nothing more than a lesser hillbilly. The only thing Leatherface does better is basement play, but for everything else, map control, gen pressure, chase pressure, one-shotting, hillbilly does it way better. I feel like Leatherface would be a lot more of an accepted killer if Hillbilly was never released, but because Hillbilly's out there and they work very similar, but Hillbilly just does it better, Leatherface is just outshined and he comes in at number 3. Back when the game first came out, we only had 3 killers, and all 3 different killers had different styles of catching their survivors. Trapper's way of catching survivors was obviously trapping, Hillbilly's was chasing, and Wraith's was tracking. The problem with tracking is that once you find the survivor, you still need to catch them, and high-ranking survivors are really good at looping killers. The problem is, with no way of having your power help you chase, you just have to force your way through every single pallet and window until you can finally get 2 hits off. And then the only thing he does do good is track survivors, but because of Doctor being in the game, he's completely outshined. If you want to play a killer for tracking, there is no reason to play anyone besides Doctor. So Wraith comes in at number 2. This killer is a fucking joke. Literally, it's better to play any other killer and not use your power than it is to play Freddy. The reason why he's so bad is that his own power hurts him. It takes 7 seconds to pull a survivor into the dream world, which means it takes 7 seconds before you can hit a survivor when they're in the middle of doing something. Which means if a generator is almost done, a door is almost open, or they're going for a save, you have absolutely 0 way to stop them. Now, people say Freddy's best in the endgame if you just run his perks in no-ed. The problem is, you can just play Pig, run Freddy's perks in no-ed, and do a lot better. There's nothing good you gain from playing Freddy. Every single killer outshines him in every single way, in every single category. The Dream World is a great idea, but it's terribly executed and makes Freddy the worst killer in the game, and he comes in at number 1. So that's going to wrap it up for our top 5 worst killers list. I hope you enjoyed, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because the next top 5 to come will probably be the top 5 best killers. I make no promises, it all really depends on what I feel like doing, but right now that's the next idea I have in mind. So if you guys enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Blame it on the alcohol, blame it on the vodka, blame it on the Henny, blame it on the catch me dizzy, alcohol, blame it on the alcohol.